family and friends. This video is actually for my old school subscribers who subscribe to this channel for the crafty things that I used to do. And today I am going to be unveiling a junk journal. So if you don't know what that is and you want to know, stick around to watch this video that I just recently made. It has been a year in the making and it is for my friend Heather. So Heather, if you're watching, go away until you receive your journal. But here she is in all of her glory. And we're gonna do a little flippity-doo-dah through it right now. Okay, so this is the journal loosely based on the wonder book, The Littlest Angel. And I did this because when Heather found me on this channel a year and a half ago, or however long ago it was, and she made me a gorgeous journal. One of the things she told me she liked was angels. And so when I found this little wonder book, I was like, this has got to be what I base this journal off of. Now, she is a gorgeous journal maker, so I was a little intimidated, I'm not going to lie. But I just had to stop overthinking it because when I started my Bible study, I kept putting this journal on hold. It had been in a pile in my craft room on my desk with a big old mess around it. So I finally got around to making it. So, okay, let's see. This is about almost 7 inches wide by about 10 inches tall. The pages are a little bit smaller on the inside because I mostly used, normal size papers. So on the outside here, I've got some vintage beads. She likes the color yellow, so you will see a lot of yellow in this. And I was so excited because I bought a bunch of beautiful beads that are vintage. And then I've got a few in here that are also modern day, but it's always fun to be able to dig into the piles of our beads and our buttons. And then I did a little patchwork here on the back, just sewing together some vintage fabrics and also some upholstery fabric that I actually got samples of. Some feathers here on the outside just to kind of give it a little bit more character. And as far as the closure goes, it's just a little clip. So getting in here, lots of yellow once again. And I just wrote her a little letter on some tracing paper and then put that over a postcard here. And I've just got some little knickknacks right here in the front for her to do some journaling on. The Wonder Book right here in the front, I cut this out of the first page of the Wonder Book. And then I also just picked this little embosser up. I don't know if you can see this, but it says handcrafted by Kanoe Gibson. So I love this. I also got one for my books that says from the library of Kanoe Gibson. So that's just a little card here that I put in the front so she can take that off, but kind of just gives it a little bit of that handmade feel. Some golden doilies on some black cardstock, and then just did a little bit of decor here. This little piece of fabric is actually from my friend Jenny, who sent it to me in a large. I also have a haul from her where she gave me a large junk journal supply. So I loved this, and Heather loves the Lord, so I definitely wanted to add some of that in there. A little journaling card that I made for some fabric. And then this is just a pocket here, a bottom loading pocket with some feathers. Feathers are, feathers for Heather. But feathers are some of my favorite things to use. And I used a lot of gold stitching as well as yellow because she likes the color yellow. This is from an Etsy shop. I don't remember the name of the Etsy shop that I got these from, but they're beautiful. They're like faux tea stained papers. This is another one of those pieces of fabric that I got from an upholstery shop where you can pick out so many samples. Heather loves tracing paper, so a lot of tracing paper in here. This is from a book with some little pieces to do some journaling on. This cute little duck stamp here. I don't know why I picked the duck. I think maybe just because I identified it with yellow. Even though a lot of ducks really aren't yellow, are they? But we always paint them yellow in illustrations. I don't know. Some packing paper, probably from Amazon. And each one of my signatures always have an envelope in the center so that I can kind of hide the stitching. And this is a vintage postcard that I found at a probably one of the estate sales that I went to here. And then, of course, some vintage fabric all throughout. So I've got them as tabs throughout. I did some paper flowers here along the side of this page. And then I wanted to create kind of like a little spinner, I guess. I don't remember where I got this idea. I think it was from somebody's December daily. It was very similar to this, but I just created my own with the butterflies. They had something else in there, but I just thought that was kind of fun. And this is a vintage letter that had been typed out for, I believe, like the Rose Society or something like that, but it's from the 70s. So it's not super vintage, but I think the 70s is kind of vintage, is it not? I think it is. And we've got some sorry edgings here. Oh no, my door is losing its edge. Please tell me I don't have to tape that. These are some doors that I got off of Etsy. I love these. I use them in almost every junk journal now. And I just glued on some gold doorknobs. This I think I found in the Flow magazine. Thought that was kind of cute for some interaction. And a little memo from a message pad there. And there is I think I printed this on some tracing paper or vellum. I think that's vellum. And then here's just a little glassine bag. And then I made a journaling card out of a piece from, I believe this was a journal that a friend had given to me. And I love these pictures with the word on them. I think they're a lot of fun. Printed some vellum from Tu Casa de Papel. And here is a vintage page from a recipe book from Jello. This is 1918. So real vintage. I remember picking this up from the estate sale that I went to last year. And then I just used a tag for a tuck spot, doily, an adult coloring book. Made a pocket here with some real vintage. Again, this was from an estate sale pieces. So I wanted to include a little bit of both modern and vintage things. Obviously, I have no rhyme or reason in this junk journal. I use a lot of stuff, different things. I don't have any kind of flow. Heather's journal that she gave to me was all color-coded and it all matched and it was just gorgeous. I'm not good at that. I just don't have that type of brain. And another page from a vintage cookbook, some tea-dyed parchment paper. And this was from my friend. I believe this was from the UK that she sent to me in one of my pen pal letters. She gave me a bunch of ephemera. That's always fun. This is also from an estate sale. And then I made some journaling secret spots here with a fabric. I believe this, no, that was not. I was going to say that's from a dress, but no, that's not. That's actually from a hanky, a Japanese hanky. And then this is from the Flow book. Loved this color yellow, and I just put a little H on there for Heather. And a timestamp card. I added on a library vault stamp there. These I cut in half. They were pieces of ephemera of the butterfly, and I thought that was a lot of fun. Just kind of sewed it on for a tuck spot there. The other side of that glassine bag, and I just put in some journaling cards for her. Love that. Pray and he will listen. Amen. And there's the cross there. Lots more yellow. I love the teal color. I love teal and yellow together. I think that's one of the best combinations. And so you'll see a lot of that in there. Here is a piece from an old dress that I had. And I loved this fabric. I just didn't love the dress anymore. So I kept it. I do that a lot. I keep old pieces of clothing if I like the fabric so that I can use them in my junk journals. And here is another little glassine bag that I created a tag out of the Littlest Angel book. Some of the printing as well as the pictures. And then just got a little tuck spot here with some journaling cards. I love this, Beauty in Simplicity. This was from an old planner subscription. And so I had a bunch of these pieces of vellum as well as acetate that are so pretty. I just never had any use for them. And then tag here from a piece of ephemera. Is that Maggie Holmes? I think that's Maggie Holmes. I believe this is Little Bindi or Johanna. I printed that out. And then my daddy, he is was a railroader. And a couple of years ago, I went to his home and he had all of these vintage railroad ticket, packets. He had all of the timetables and all kinds of stuff. So he gave me an entire suitcase full of vintage railroad ephemera, which made my heart so happy. And just some little pieces here inside this vellum pocket that I made. This is real vintage, and then these are just pieces from something else. I think Tim Holtz maybe. And then I don't know where that sticker's from. This is from an old Japanese journal that I had when I bought in Japan. A doily, probably Johanna, I think. And then I printed these seed packets on vellum. I always think that's really fun to create seed packets out of vellum. And then I have a color transparency. Got a bunch of these from an estate sale. So I decided to include that in there, and she could use that wherever she wants. On some children's journal paper, more tracing paper. And then these I got from an estate sale. I forget what they called these. They were like trifolds or something like that. But I just think these are so cute. Old cards that you could write on, and I love the way that they kind of fold together. Okay, so this is some packaging that I just used as a page. I thought that was really fun. Oh, I should turn it around. Sorry. I have to send this journal out today because she's been waiting over a year. So I've got to make sure it's still in order here before I send it out. And then this is from an old book that I found at, I believe, a library sale or maybe even an estate sale. And she's an artist, Heather is. And so I pulled this page from that because it has all of this, art supplies listed. This is actually a Hawaiian fabric. So if you look closely, there's actually some Hawaiian writing on it from an old newspaper. That's the print that they created out of the fabric. And so I just included that for a little personal touch. Here is a doily that I just put over the table of contents. I believe this is a Johanna envelope, and I put a prayer card in there. I was trying to just practice some sewing, and so I created a master collage board or a quilting board, and then I used a piece of it for this belly band, which has a vintage flashcard and some old Planner Society notes, which super cute and fitting for her yellow love. I really hope I wasn't dreaming that she loves yellow, because I put a whole lot of yellow in here. Can you imagine her saying, that's my least favorite color? Here's another one of those little fold over cards. Vintage, I don't know. I definitely know it's before the 80s. So depending on, can someone tell me, what do you consider vintage? Is it pre-70s, 60s, 40s, 80s? I don't know. I believe this is some more fabric that I got from Jenny. She gave me so much cute stuff. And then on the other side of that Japanese journal page, I just did some collaging here with some stenciling. That's always a lot of fun to do. Little recipe card and a piece for journaling in this pocket. And then another little journal card that I created on top of a flashcard from The Littlest Angel with some of the fabric. And I used some of the fabrics for tabs that I use on the journal on the other side. Another journaling card that I made, some fabric here. And then, of course, backing that with a cute little feather for Heather. And a tag that I created out of Johanna's little Bindi journaling packs. Here's some vintage lace that I got from an estate sale, and I created a master board where I was able to cut out and create journaling cards for her. And then I also have a pressed flower that I had laminated a few years back, and I figured, oh, that'd be cute on there. Here is some old ledger paper, a square doily or a rectangle doily, another from my collage master board. Created a journaling card out of that with this cute butterfly. And then I kept this side open so she could put a larger piece of whatever she wants in there. Hymnal paper, I did some gold splattering with a cute Planner Society doily, some acetate from another planner stock that I had, some ledger paper, another envelope, and some journaling prompts from Little Bindi. Those are always fun if you don't know what to journal about. Another tuck spot from the bottom loading. This is a vintage recipe page or pamphlet. You can tell how beat up it is. And then a little tuck spot here, or not tuck spot, secret journaling spots. We got doilies, more vintage recipe pages. And then this, a little road trip piece. I believe this is from a scrapbook page. I don't remember the name of it, but this is a vintage postcard here, actually written on. I don't think there's a date on it. Yeah, no date. But nevertheless, definitely vintage, you can tell. And I don't remember who sent this to me, but it's really cute. I had a few pages of that and I thought it was really cute. So just tuck that in there. This is Asian calligraphy paper. I think Japanese calligraphy paper that I just put in there. And I did some, what do you call this? Scrap. What do you call this? Scrap. It's been so long since I've done junk journaling stuff, so I forget what everything's called. Scrap bands. I don't know. Anyway, just put some scraps. And a piece of vintage fabric that I created a little scrappy booklet here for her to do some journaling in. So I love to have a few interactive pieces in my journals. This is some Indian sari pieces. Another journaling spot there. And this, I believe, is from Tu Casa de Papel. Again, I printed it on vellum. I love that. Here is an old doily that I got from a vintage or from an estate sale. And then found this in my stash of little vintage buttons. And again, because she loves angels, I had to keep that for her. Here, I got this from an estate sale, some old wallpaper border. And I just did a little flip down there. Put a journaling card. And yeah, that's a tuck spot, but I didn't put anything in there. I probably should. Some avocado dyed paper. This is vintage fabric here, or ribbon. Another master collage that I made a journaling card out of. Ooh, that's kind of cool. This is this Amity Bloom or Tu Casa de Papel? Amity Bloom? I don't know. One of those. Some of my favorites. Amity Bloom and Tu Casa de Papel. They have such bright, floral, fun papers, digitals. A guest check. And then just flip that over. And inside here, I think it's just a piece of paper for her to do some journaling on. A child's book page, of course, the letter H for Heather. And this is another book page out of a floral book. And then I just lined it. I love this. This is one of my favorite pieces that I have here. And then this is an old library card that I got in a Hawaii library book sale. So a bunch of these reference titles. This came from Pearl City Regional Library in Hawaii. And so again, just a personal touch since I'm originally from Hawaii. And then I did some embossing here on this yellow envelope. And I didn't actually put it in the other way because I had already sewn it. So I messed that up a little bit. I'm not going to take this out because I don't want to rip this. This is really fragile. It's kind of old. So I'm just going to leave it in there. But that's a botanical postcard that I have. And I just did some collaging here. Another journaling card from the Littlest Angel. And I just had this little piece here. I was practicing sewing buttons. And so I had this piece. It was intended to go on another journal. I just never used it. So I thought, oh, that's cute. It's kind of fitting for that. The other side of that page of the book. Another book page here. Anything that had angels on it I thought was appropriate for her. And then I was playing around with playing cards. So I made little journaling cards out of these playing cards, but she has 2 dogs. These aren't exactly her dogs. I know she has, I believe, like a boxer mix and then another sort of whitish dog. So I picked these 2. I said, well, they kind of look like her dogs. So hopefully she'll get what I meant by that. Hopefully she'll see that, yeah, it kind of looks like my dogs. And then I just have some pieces of journaling papers. And this was a paper from an old diary that I had gotten at an estate sale from 1937. Okay. some more of that avocado dyed paper and some of that fabric, a doily that I printed on vellum. I just think that's always really fun. And I think we're at the end here, and I just did another flip out secret journaling spot there, and we come to the end. So that is my journal for Heather. I'm so excited to finally be able to send it out. I wanted to do a quick flip through so that I didn't miss it, but I wanted everybody to be able to see it and see another side of me. If you're in my Bible study, you see another side, my crafty side. And then for those who like my crafting videos, if you haven't yet joined us in our Bible study, we welcome you to do so if you want to study the Bible with us. So thank you for indulging me in this time, allowing me to share this. If you liked it, let me know in the comments what was your favorite part. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope you have a wonderful day, and I will see you in the next video. Okay, aloha.